The next person we have to give us some more insight is Hans Frauenfelder. Hans was at the physics department at the University of Illinois from 1952 to 1992, and he, like Gunny, reached mandatory retirement age, and so that was University of Illinois' misfortune. He's since been at Los Alamos, the Los Alamos National Laboratory, where he still is an active member. He went out there originally to be the director of the Center for Nonlinear Studies, and I understand he's now back to being a biophysicist. And Hans and Gunny had a very important, I think, generative effect in the biological and physical sciences. It was an incredible collaboration, and I expect Hans is going to tell us a little bit about what happened.
It is not difficult to talk about Gunny. It's impossible. Because he was such a complex personality that you can look at very different aspects and always find something new and interesting. I only want to talk about two things. One is human contact. Of course, wine was an essential part of that. But the contact we had, for instance, with our family was marvelous. I mean, that we had contact was clear, but that he had contact with our three children, with all of them at different ages, was a unique experience. But we talk about many things, and it's important to just concentrate the few. The one which I want to concentrate on is Gunny as a scientist. We'll hear more about that. But we started more or less accidentally getting together with Gunny. And we very quickly realized that we were talking a totally different language. Words that we, the physicists, used meant something totally different to him, and the other way it was also true. We didn't understand really what he was saying, understand in the deepest sense. So we got together, and over a long period of time, the contact grew. And actually it was probably the start of a strong interaction between physics and the biological sciences. And as a result, I believe, of this early interaction came out that Illinois has probably the strongest combined interaction between physics and biology, where biology is a very broad range of course. Many of you realize that there are no scientists who are brighter than physicists. What happens is when you get to know the others, you realize that's totally wrong. And Gunny taught us that it's really the different science, but just as important. As a result of the interaction with Gunny, the physics-biology group, or it's more than a group here, is probably the strongest in the world. That's one of the results of the interaction with Gunny. But as a last point, I just want to add again to the fact that when you got to know Gunny, you never realized the complexity behind his being, and that he had the gift to interact with essentially everyone in a very different way. I think we all miss him very much. He is totally replaceable. But let me mention one last thing which many of you probably experienced. There were the famous Gunnygrams. You got emails from Gunny and you spent a few days thinking about what did it really mean. We still don't know everything, so we have more research ahead of us. But we all miss Gunny, and he can't be replaced, but the memory will remain. Thank you.